Pat, the balloon man of Pat Roth Entertainment. And you may have guessed, I like balloons. That's why I have a balloon vest and a balloon tie, and you know what? I even have balloon shoes and socks too. But before we get going, and I teach you a little bit about balloons, I'd like to make a big shout out to SaskTel, which are the company that is sponsoring this summer library reading virtual program. So thanks a lot, SaskTel, we really appreciate it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to teach you a little bit about balloons. As you may have noticed, I have a balloon apron, as we call it, over here filled with all kinds of balloons. And on this table, I have some more different kinds of balloons and what we need to use to be able to do balloons. So what I'm going to do is take you through that, and then I'm going to teach you how to make some balloon designs. We'll start from the really simple and get a bit more complicated that goes on. Okay, you ready to start? Okay, let's go. Well, first, the types of balloons that there are. The workhorse of all balloon twisters is what I've called a balloon twister, is what we call, here we go, the 260 balloon. This is the most common one. It's used all the time. Now, the first thing you got to do is you got to stretch a little bit. So, if I take it like this, like stretch. Okay, it's a little bit stronger than I thought it was. I'll try to get it. There we go, perfect. See, so you get it really, ow, that kind of hurt. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'll do it this way. You get a really good stretch on it and you lose it. Okay, oh, there it is. All right, okay. Oh, hey, I know. When in doubt, use your head. There, so now we got to really stretch. Okay, you know what? I think it is indeed stretched enough. Now, when I first started doing balloons, I blew them all up by mouth, and you can still do that. So if you grab it like this, you can grab it and you can go, sometimes, you put a little air in it, and then you put a lot of air into your cheeks and you blow while you're pulling. And you can blow the balloon up. But it's pretty hard to learn that technique. So over the years, I discovered different ways to do it. So what I have over here is probably the most common item that a balloon twister has, which is a balloon hand pump. This is called the double action pump. So as I pull it out, air goes out. As I push it in, air goes in to the balloon. It speeds things up. So I attach it like that. Then I can go like this and blow it right up very, very quickly. Well, don't let go of them, because if you do that, that's what's going to happen. So we have this kind of balloon pump. And you know what? We also have a little skinny balloon pump like this too. Now these are for another type of balloon. And that is these really tiny ones here, nice and skinny. They're called 160s. So if I attach it onto here and I go like this, we get ourselves a long, skinny balloon. And we use that for all sorts of things. And I'm going to be showing you a few items that I'll use that with. So, once you throw off a balloon, in order not to have it take off like I had that last one, what you got to do is you got to learn how to tie the balloon. And that can be pretty hard. So what I do is I grab it, I put my thumb here, I stretch the balloon over, make a little circle, put it on my thumb, and then run the knot through. And it ties it very, very quickly. So, once that's tied, well, I can do all sorts of things with it. But for right now, I'm just going to put it off to the side over here, by my Spider-Man that I made a little earlier. Okay, so as you get better, that's the kind of things you can make. So the other types of balloons that are out there, and balloon pumps that makes life easier, are things like this little guy. This is an electric balloon pump. So if I turn them on, it makes that kind of a noise. But what I can do is, I can attach one of these colorful balloons onto it. And in my case, I actually have a little sling that I could put over my shoulder like so that I have it here to the front. And all I do is I put it on like that. It's got a little pushy thing right here. And look at that. Blows it up really, really quick. like that. Now, sometimes Pat the Balloon Man goes out and he does different performances in different places, like restaurants. Sometimes balloon twisters do that. And when I do, I carry this along because it's very small, not too noisy, and it fills up things very quickly. So I'll put him over here. So that's a useful item to have. Now, my main balloon pump that I love the most when I'm making really good and big things is this guy right here. And he also is an electric balloon pump. And I can put a balloon on here and press that, and it blows it right up. Let me show you. I'll grab this one here. Okay. So, blow him up like that, and he's very quick and very fast. I love him. He's probably the one I use the most. Okay, so now we've got another colorful one here. So, the other things that are very useful when you're making balloons is to use markers, because I draw faces on a lot of my balloons. I use special markers, ones that don't have any kind of like smelly alcohol to them, because that will eat through the balloons. So these ones are all water-based. Sharpies work really good, and I have all kinds of them. As you see over here, I have them all different colors. And I really like these ones here, Sharpies, because they work like a pen. So I can click it out, I can click it in, and it doesn't dry out. You can get them in black, red, you can even get them in white. So what else is useful? Well, having a pair of scissors is useful because sometimes you got to cut your balloon. And so I'll be showing you that when you use more than one balloon together to make something, sometimes you got to cut things to make them look really neat. Let's continue on with different kinds. So this one is even bigger balloon than this one. It's called a 360. Look at the size of this guy. So he's a lot fatter and maybe not quite as long, but you use him for making different kinds of things. So if you look over at my Hulk over here, I made part of his arms out of that size of 360. And last, the big guys, and he's really hard to blow up. This is called a 660. Let's see if I can do it. I may have to use my pump to this. Oh, here he comes. He's really big, he's really fat. So I'll just blow him up maybe that far. Now, tie him off, and we'll see. This big fat one like this can be used for things like the Hulk's chest or his big arms. So they're used for the specialty type of balloons that you're going to make. So we'll put him off to the side over here too. What else do we have? Well, I got this fun one. This is called a Geo Blossom balloon. And when you blow him up, he will spread out like this, and he'll actually make a flower. So I tie him off like that. I might just use this just a little bit later. You can see that got a little hole in it, and it looks like a flower, and I can attach him onto something. Or you know what? I even can use that for a face. And I'll maybe show you how I'm going to do that a little later. Okay, let's put him down here. And lastly are these ones. They're called link-a-loos. And what they have on the very end there, a little tag like that of rubber, so that when I tie this together like so, I can then tie a balloon onto this end and onto this end at the same time to make a chain of balloons. Or perhaps I'm going to use them to attach another structure or something to this. Okay, so here we go. That's our basic balloons right there that we use when we're a balloon sculptor. What we're going to do right now is show you how to do basic balloons. So the first thing any balloon artist learns is how to do the basic balloon dog. Because really, everything else is based on that. So I'm going to grab myself one of the balloons I've already blown up right here. And when you're working with a balloon, this is our 260 now, you work from the knot to what we call the tail. You'll notice I've left room here. I haven't blown it all the way up because every time I make a twist in the balloon, it's going to push air this way. So if we leave no room, the balloon's going to blow up. And you know what? Balloons actually do that all the time. They blow up. But they can't hurt you. They just make a lot of noise. So you got to learn to just, kind of get used to it. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to pinch. And so I figure out how far I want to make it. This is going to end up being the nose of my dog. So I use my fingers to measure. So that is really about 5 fingers. So I go 5 fingers and I twist. Now here's the thing, you can't let go of one side of the balloon because if you do, it's going to unwind. So we're going to do this. And we're going to work with what's called the law of threes. Because you have 3 things, you can twist them together and they'll stay together. So here's one. Now I'm going to make the ears of the dog. I could make it the same size, but I'm going to make them just a little bit smaller. So with this twist it around, that first and last twist, guess what? They're going to stay together. And the one twist there, so now I got 2 of them. I'm going to put them down like so I can see and measure, so I make them the same size, as close as I can. So now what have I got? I got 3 bubbles. 1, 2, 3. 1 larger and 2 the same size. So I'm going to take the very first twist I made, the very last twist I made, push them down like this, take my thumb and finger and push them together. I grab the top and I twist it around. That first and last twist, guess what? They're going to stay together. And that is called a lock twist. Okay? So, when we make our body and our front legs, we do exactly the same thing. So now I want to figure, how big do I want to make these legs? So let's make our legs about 4 fingers. So there's 1 leg. Let's make our second one. Whoops. See, if you let go, they're going to unravel. So what I can do is I can tuck it under my arm, use my other fingers there, and boom. Now, I'm going to take that last twist, that twist, that I first made, and I'm going to put them together, and twist them. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot something, law of threes. First thing I want to make, of course, is his neck. So I'm going to make his neck about 3 fingers, then a leg about 4, and then another leg about 4, and then I'm going to take that first twist, last twist, twist them together, just like I did the nose, and there you go. Your front legs, your neck, your ears, your nose. So now I'm going to make the body. As I'm making it, I check how much room do I have left here, because as it gets smaller and smaller, I may have to make things small. So let's make a body. Now a body should be bigger than everything else, so let's make the body about 6 fingers long. There we go. So there's 1, 2 for the back leg. Now we always got to leave a little bubble here at the end for pressure to hold things together. So I'm going to go like that. That's going to be his tail. And I'm going to take that twist and my last twist and twist them together. Straighten the legs out. And ta-da! We have ourselves a balloon dog. Now, you can do this. This is not very difficult. To finish them off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marker, which I put somewhere. I'll try them over here. I take my marker, and I'm going to put eyes on them. So all I do for eyes is I just do a little upside down U, like so. I usually put a little eyebrow in there. Then at the bottom, I color it in. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Upside down U, join them together, with a little eyebrow. There we go. Now, if you want him to be a girl dog, I mean, you could always give him eyelashes too. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Then, the bottom here, I'm going to make a little mouth by going like this, and like that. A couple of whiskers. And now, our balloon dog is a lot more animated and friendly looking. All right, so there's our first balloon. So hopefully, you'll get a chance to do this as well. So, what should we do next? Well, I can show you how you can take a balloon dog and make them more complicated by making what we call a balloon poodle. Okay, so I'm going to put him off to the side here. He'll join my prince and princess right there. He can be their pet dog. Okay, so let's do another one. Okay, now these guys are kind of blown up, so I'm going to do a fresh one. Now there's all different kinds of colors. My favorite are what are called metallic colors. So I'm going to take a metallic pink right here, and then I'll blow him up. Now, when I'm doing a balloon poodle, I only blow them up that much because there's a lot of twists in a poodle. And I want to leave a lot of room so it doesn't break them. So first I'm going to do that tying. So stretch it over your thumb, put it into that open space right there, and push it through, and it's tied. Now you may have your own way of tying a balloon, and that's fine. This is just the way I do it. So, when I'm doing a balloon poodle, what am I starting with? I'm starting with the nose. So, that's going to be my nose, maybe a little bit longer. Now, this is what's going to be different. I'm going to do one small ear, which is a small bubble, about 2 inches, or sorry, 2 fingers. Then I'm going to do a forehead, which is about 3 fingers. And then I'm going to do another ear, the same size as the last one. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 this time. I'm going to take this twist and twist them together. So all I do is take my thumb and finger, squish them together, take the top and turn it. And already he's looking different than the other doggy. What I like to do though is I like to take my thumb where the knot is, my finger where the forehead and the ears meet, and I like to push this right through. Not all the way, just a little bit. And when you do that, the pressure from either side is going to hold that balloon into place, and you get yourself a much more poodle-looking face than you did before. So, what are we going to need now? We're going to need a neck, we're going to need legs. So, I'm going to go 1 for the neck, smaller one, 1 for the leg, but now this is a poodle. He's got little poofy feet. So we're going to do 1 small poofy foot, another small poofy foot. We're going to come back up, measure it so it's the same size. Take that twist and twist them together. So what do we got? Our poodle with his front legs. Okay, so what do you think's left? The body and the back legs. So I'm going to go like that, and go like that. So there's my body, there's my leg, about the same size. And then what do we need? 2 little poofy feet. So 1 small bubble, another small bubble. We come like that. Same size. So now again, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. We take them together, we twist them, and there we go. Now, sometimes, not always, this can work too. If I take the end of this and I go snap, 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 I usually do it about 9 or 10 times. Then I take a twist in here, like that. And I take my hand and I go, and then what you'll do is you can have a longer tail on your poodle, or if you don't like that, you just squish it back down, and there he is again. So, last thing again, what are we going to do? We're going to put a face on him. So, we grab our marker, and for this, I like to do up, and then again, 2 upside down U's kind of joined together, right? And then all we do is we do a little eyelid, and at the bottom, some black. I do again, the mouth, little doggy mouth, maybe a couple little doggy whiskers, and there we go. We have ourselves a poodle. So, again, the only difference from the balloon dog was, instead of just a nose and 2 ears, we did a nose, an ear, a forehead, and ear, and joined them together. And instead of just the legs, what we did was a leg, a small foot, little round bubble, another little round bubble, and another leg, and joined them together. And really, that's the only difference. So that's how you do a balloon poodle. Okay. So, maybe he'll become the pet of our prince now. There we go. Put him over there. So what can we do next? So these are all what we call one balloon creations. You also can make things with 2 balloons. So how about I do that? Now, one of the things I'm asked for all the time when I go out to parties are unicorns. Do you like unicorns? Seems like everybody does. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to make us a unicorn. So, let's take one of these bright colors once again. How about a white unicorn right here? These unicorns usually are white, but they can be any color. What I do is I'm going to hold them up about that much. Okay? And really, what a unicorn is a horse with a horn. So that's what we're going to do. First, we're going to make a horse. So, what I do with the horse, in my horse, I like to put on what are called lips on my horse. So normally I could just do that. That'd be my horse face right there. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add something to the very beginning. So this is a little different, so pay attention. This one is called a pinch twist. Sometimes other twisters call it an ear twist as well, but I like pinch twist. So I take a small bubble, maybe even smaller than that. See, I've got my tail, my knot right here, right on my first twist. So what I can do is, I can take that knot right there and twist it in here by pulling it over, going like that, twisting it all the way around, and guess what? It's so tight it'll hold together. So now I'm going to make another bubble the same size, and then take that first twist and that twist, do the same thing. I put my finger under it, I pull it forward, and I twist it and turn it on itself. So now, as you can see, they kind of look like lips. Or they could be ears, all sorts of things. The pinch twist is one of the most useful twists to learn because you can use it for ears, you can use it for a mouth. You also can use it to join things on, like as if you're doing a knee joint, or an elbow joint, or a neck joint. So, but this will be our lips. So, I got to make the muzzle of my unicorn or my horse. So, for that, I'm going to make it about 5 fingers. There we go. And now I want to give them ears, so I'm going to do pinch twists again. I'm going to do one here, and I'm going to twist it. And I'm going to make another one the same size, and I'm going to twist that all the way around, and there you can see. It's going to hold it together, and there you go. I'll do it sideways so you can see. There's his ears, his muzzle, and then there's his lips of his horse's head, okay? So now we need a horse neck. Now they're fairly long, so we're going to do our horse neck, maybe almost 7 fingers. But this, the rest of it, looks just like a door. So I go 1 for the neck, and 1 for the leg, have him come back. I go 1 for the body, 1 for the leg, have him come back. So that's your basic horse body. But wait a minute, what's missing? Oh, a horse has a mane right here. So that's what we're going to add next. We're going to add a mane to it. And just to be a little different, I'm going to add some different colors to it. So I'm going to go in and take one of my small 160s, and I'm going to use that to create my mane. So let us take, let's see, we got white, what would look good? How about silver? We'll use some silver right here. So, again, I'm going to blow them up. In this case, I'm going to blow them up quite a lot. Tie them off, like so. Okay, so now I'm going to take that knot right there, and when I twisted it in here, I'm going to twist a knot around there. Just join them together, like that. And then if I really want to make sure it doesn't come apart, I'm going to take that knot and I'm going to push it between the legs. Now it's locked into place, and as you can see, it's not going to come apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make what's called a chain. Okay? I'm going to come up all the way up here, around the ears and down the other side, but I'm going to do it by making a whole series of small little bubbles. So I'm going to do 6 up one side, 6 down the other side. So here I go. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I can do is, if I think 6 is not maybe too big, I can measure. You know what? 5 seems to be the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seems to be the right size. So I'm going to take that twist right there, put my thumb there, and I'm going to twist it around the nose part, like that. And what helps to twist, as you are pulling things around, turn your balloon like that. And it's less tension, and it's less likely to pop if you do it that way. So I go all the way around. So now I'm on the other side, and hold my little bubble, so it's sitting at the back of the head. And now what I'm going to do is going to come all the way down and do exactly the same thing. So 5 small bubbles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I got another 5 bubbles like that. I take it down to where the legs are. I'm going to grab it and grab everything like that. Turn it all the way around. Maybe 2 or 3 times. Put this to the bottom. Slide that so he's behind the ears. And look at that. That would be our horse with a handle as well. So, but wait a minute. We're doing a unicorn, aren't we? So what we need to make a unicorn, what makes him distinctive, is the horn. So this is a small little horse. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a little piece of the small one to be the horn. And since we've gone with silver with the mane, I thought maybe a gold for the horn might be nice. So what I'm going to do is I have a gold right here. I don't need a lot of this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blow them up. Oh, let's get them on there. He's got a little small hole, so you got to make sure you move them down. I'm actually going to blow them up all the way like that. Okay, I'm going to take my horn and make them very smooth at the end. Okay, no point. So I'm going to grab them about there. Twist them around. And now what I can do is, I can let all the air out, and I'm going to tie them right there. Whoa! Okay. I only need that little bit. So sometimes what I do, if it's too much to tie, I just grab my scissors, cut part of this off because I don't need all this anymore. I'm going to tie them. Like so. And I got a tail here. The tail's important. So sometimes, because I only need a little bit, I'll actually hang on to my scraps of balloon, and I'll use them to make my little horns and so forth. So all I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this part here, I'm going to go underneath, like that, and I'm going to pull him around to the front, like so. I'll take this part, I'll go around the ears, maybe even through the ears, and back, I go around a number of times, and by doing that, I actually get rid of the balloon, and then tuck his horn up where I want it to be, like so. I can straighten him out, and now here we go, a unicorn with the horn. So let's finish him off by doing the face. Grab a marker. Again, a unicorn face. Again, for this eyes, I just do simple eyes. You can do more complicated if you're a good artist. I'm not really a good artist, so I do simple ones. So again, do the upside down U. Sometimes I get a little bit over. Upside down U, like so. Put in the pupils right like that, and then I do 2 dots for the nose up here. And there we go. One balloon unicorn using 2 balloons. Okay? And then run across the sky. All right, let's put him off to the side over here as well. Okay, so we've made ourselves a couple of different kinds of balloon dots. We made ourselves a balloon unicorn using 2 balloons. And I thought I'd take a moment just to show you some of the, what we call balloon twister multi-balloons. So first, we're going to look over here. What I've done here is I've made myself a princess. She kind of looks like, you know, someone from maybe Frozen or from any of the Disneys. This is what would be called a multi-balloon. So I use 4 balloons here for the dress, another balloon over here as well, joined together. So it looks like that. I used another balloon up here, these are all 260s, to make her body. Then I used the 160s, 2 different kinds, a blue and what we call a blush, to make the arms. And lastly, I made the head. Now, those heads are pretty hard. I used 2 different balloons. Believe it or not, I have 1 balloon here, that's a big guy, like this one here. What I've done is I cut him, and then I pushed a small balloon inside him, what we call a 5-inch white balloon inside him, and I blew this balloon up inside, which pushed it out. And then I was able to, by using a 160, twist in hair on either side. So this is what would be called advanced. And for the face, because I'm not such a good artist, I actually use stickers on the face, and that's why she looks so good. So of course, if we got a princess, we need a prince. So this is my prince. Again, we used ourselves 260s for the legs and the body. It actually wasn't that difficult to make. And then I used another 260 for around his collar. And I did 2 pinch twists to hold that into place. Again, I used 160s for the arms. And also for the collars around his wrist, I used a 160. For his belt, I used a 160. And then I made the head, just like I told you over there. I took a big balloon, I pushed inside the smaller 5-inch balloon, I blew him up, twisted him off, and that became his head. And then I just attached 160s for the hair and a sticker for the face. Now, my favorite one is right here. You may recognize this guy. We got the Hulk. So he's my favorite one to make, and he's probably the hardest I've ever made as well, too. He uses all of those kinds of balloons I was telling you about. He uses the 360s. He uses the big 160, the 660 I told you about, all sorts of things like that. So we have his feet down at the bottom. This is all separate. When I made this, first thing I did is I made the body. And that had big 660s in it. It had the 360s in it. That joined them together. Okay? And I joined a number of them. This particular Hulk probably has 20 different balloons in them to make that. Now, I've been doing balloons for like 30 years, a long time. I've only started making ones this complicated this year. So, you know, everybody moves at their own speed. And you can start with the balloon dog, which is what I started with, and eventually, if you keep at it, practice, and learn from people better than yourselves, just like they tell you at school, eventually you too could make something like this as well. Okay, so, well, I think that brings me to the end of my time with you. I hope you learned a few things and you pursue balloon twisting, because it really is so much fun. So there's all kinds of YouTube videos out there that you can use as well. So use the internet, you can go to libraries, and they have balloon twisting books. So hey, remember, libraries are really cool, so make good use of them. But that's all for me right now. Goodbye from Pat the Balloon Man. Thanks for watching.